Live from New York, it's Ask This Engineer.
Hey everybody, and welcome to another week of Ask Engineer. It's me, Lady Ada. I'm the engineer. With me is Mr. Lady Ada, and we're here at Adafruit, broadcasting live. You can tell because there's like the on-air sign.
Yeah.
There, whatever. You say on air.
Been doing this for almost 6 years.
6 years of
Ask an engineer.
on-airness. We're broadcasting live from the Adafruit headquarters in downtown Manhattan. We've got an exciting show for you tonight. No guests this week. We had guests for 2 weeks, but now it's just us.
Yeah.
Pure Mrs. Lady Ada.
Our guest privileges have been revoked. No one wants to talk to us anymore.
We ran out of friends.
On tonight's show, you ready?
Yeah.
The code is Noops. Because we have so many new products. The code is Noops. 10% off all the way up until 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. Off everything except for software and gift certificates. We're going to go over the letter of the week. What was on the show and tell? Some exciting news in the world of open source hardware. We had a visitor. We're going to talk about Jobs board, Arduino, pack the mailbags and stop by. We got 3D printing news. We got a ton of new products as we're catching up. We're going to answer your questions. I have a trivia question. All that and more on, you guessed it, Ask an Engineer. That's right. It's a show.
It's going to be quite a show.
It's a show. Okay,
right.
So let's get this started. First off, again, code is Noops. The only way we survive is by you guys placing orders. So we don't take ads, we don't have sponsorships, we don't have loans or venture capital. It's their orders out there that keep these lights on. And we have to buy a lot more lights.
It's just me doing engineering and Phil doing like everything else. That's pretty much it.
We have a giant team of people that we...
A giant team of people that helps us.
That are... you know what we did? We added an amazing 401k plan for everyone here. We had to find...
Oh my God, that took so long.
We had to find a 401k company that would treat everyone like an executive, not executives and everyone else, so everyone has the best possible.
It took us 18 months to do this 401k plan, but now we have it.
So we're really excited about that.
That's a lot of math. So that was actually good that last 2 weeks we haven't had a lot. We've had shows with guests because I was just like, I couldn't focus on new products because it's 401k.
Okay, we still take, speaking of money, we take Bitcoin. That's neat.
All right, 401k cannot invest in Bitcoin.
Nope. We specifically said
don't do that.
That's probably not a good idea right now. Our UPS deal is still going on, $200 or more for UPS ground. And this week's show letter is brought to you by the letter V. This is from Lady Ada's coloring book.
V is for victorious.
R is for robots. It's also for vision.
These are the IBOs.
These are the IBOs. Now, the timing of this is interesting. There's an amazing article in New York Times of the video about all the people who still have IBOs and they take care of them like dogs, but the parts are in short supply. It's amazing. You have to watch it.
Okay.
Beautiful video. But V is for vision system, and when you color in the coloring book, you color the little ball pink because that's what the IBOs could see.
That's right.
Yeah.
And then that same technology was used in the PlayStation.
Used in the PlayStation, used in the Curios, and I think Sony has since used it in lots of other things. And if you look really close on some videos, or if you type Curio or IBO in Adafruit, you'll see some secret videos that I was able to take back in the day while I worked with Sony.
Secret videos.
Yeah. So anyways, that's the coloring book. You can download it. It's Creative Commons. You can print it out. You can buy a copy, all that stuff. Okay, show and tell. It was packed. We had some amazing projects and demos. Lady Ada, maybe just do a quick one sentence each because we got a lot of stuff tonight here.
Yeah, sorry. I'm making me on. Okay, start off with Noah and Pedro from Adafruit Southeast. Technical is actually at the Solid Conference tonight, so he could not make it to the show and tell because he's showing and telling live.
Crushing it.
He's showing and telling in San Francisco, and I'm sure he did an excellent job. But Noah and Pedro came by and showed off their chess set update. They're making an Adafruit chess set. We have a chess club here at Adafruit, and we want a chess set as well, so they're working on brass and bronze and copper fill made chess.
Yeah.
Check out their video. They're getting really beautiful detail, getting really, really good at the copper fill and bronze fill. And don't forget to check out 3D Thursday tomorrow for even more updates and projects and tutorials. Richard came by and visited. He has a really hardcore sewing machine, but it's not up and running yet. So instead he showed off his educational kit for Trinket. He's using a Pro Trinket from us and a couple parts to make an educational kit, like a low-cost kit to teach people electronics. And so he's working on that, and they're working on the kit and making like a box and stuff. And he's also showed off a bone conduction, like head, skull, voice thing that he's working on. So he made one of those, and he's building a project with somebody else. So maybe next week he'll show that off. Adam has been doing a lot of really neat stuff with Adafruit IO. He released a tutorial on this mailbox notifier, which is an XB system that will notify him when there's mail, because he lives in a place where there's like a mailbox and it opens and the mail person puts mail in, and then like he wants to know when that happens. And so he has a mailbox notifier with LEDs and NeoPixels and XBs. But this week he's showing off a really advanced project. He has a sump pump in his basement as well. And I guess he lives in a place where like water could easily... Actually, I have no idea what a sump pump is used for in a house. It's a wet area?
I think it needs to constantly be pumping water out.
Constantly be pumping water out from his house. So
this is one of the best use cases for an Internet of Things service, because why would you want to worry about things like basements filling up or leaks or whatever when you can have technology tell you? Yeah,
so he hooked up a simple flip sensor to an XB and an Arduino and a couple other, all sorts of different parts. And basically what he made was a battery-powered system that will tell him on his phone, he has a custom app that will tell him on his phone when the sump pump goes out, like if something is wrong with the sump pump or the power goes out. So you won't have to worry if he's traveling, like, you know, if it's a real problem if your pump dies and like your water starts coming to your basement. So he gets notifications on his phone. And he made a custom Android app, which is really neat. So he said he's going to publish that up, and hopefully we'll have a tutorial for that as well. Aiden has been coming by every week and showing off his soft robots, and finally he is becoming a soft robot. His latest project, he's using hydraulic air tendons to like create like muscles and like his arm. Like he has an arm controller now, so he can like actually make his arm move using these hydraulic soft robot tendon muscle things. And he's gonna be a superhero. I can't wait till like in 5 years when we do like show and tell, and he's like, I'm on the surface of Mars with my like hydraulic bot. So
it'll be a delay, but it'll be okay.
Yeah, it'll be 45 seconds delayed, or for 40 minutes delayed, but we'll see him on the surface of Mars. David came by with a ham radio project. He uses I think it's called Echolink with a Raspberry Pi, and he actually can use his phone as a link through his Raspberry Pi to another person on a portable, like a 2-meter radio, and he actually did a back and forth talk, so it was kind of neat. He was using Raspberry Pi as sort of this voice to ham gateway. I don't completely understand how it works, but I'm kind of curious because it's really neat, because it's like, hey, like we can take advantage of the ham radio network and also the cellular network and combine them.
Yeah.
VJ showed up. Her network connection was kind of iffy.
She's gonna come back.
But she's gonna come back. She's a work in progress, but she's gonna come back maybe on Ethernet. Danny, who took part in the first ever same-day shipment test at Adafruit successfully, came by.
I'll mention that now, so we'll break the third wall. So Adafruit did our first day of same-day delivery testing. This is a big deal. So if you placed an order in New York City in certain locations, you had the option to get it delivered same day. So if it was placed by 11 a.m., you got it by 5. Danny got his like 20 minutes later. It's pretty amazing. We're not ready for a big launch.
Not ready. Still testing.
Yeah, we're still testing. Everything's working out. We have a couple more things.
You really can't mess it up with same-day delivery.
Yeah,
you gotta get it right.
We have to be perfect. And I don't mind saying it on the show because I have a blog post that I refer back to a long time in the future that I know that I posted in the past. That made no sense. But we're working on drone top delivery. So this is a really long-term thing. So locations that can send and receive drones. We would like to also be one. We're talking to people with drones. You're on the New York City Industrial Manufacturing Council. I'm sorry, you were. So we have lots of people and places, and everyone wants it to happen. So we're going to try to do it. We know it's like 5 years out, but we're working back from that. So anyway.
We're talking. So he was testing that, but he also had a baby a couple weeks ago, and a six-week-old baby. And she has her own room, and he's totally kitting it out with like all these sensors. So he has a Raspberry Pi and a Pi TFT running Node.js, and it does all the lights controlling. So he's controlling lights in the room through a Raspberry Pi, so he can keep the lights dim and like automate the lights. And then he also has a Huzzah board to do temperature and humidity testing, and he has that next to the crib, and that's like a little Wi-Fi sensor. So that's also sending him through Adafruit IO updates. So he knows the temperature and humidity of the baby's room at all times, which is just like super neat.
Yeah.
This is like cyber baby. So it's awesome. I like how he's like, I have a kid. He's like, do I have to stop doing what I love? No, I'm just gonna make baby projects.
It's a new set of projects, like temperature and then lighting. Yeah.
He's got tons of baby projects to work on.
Yeah.
And then Greg came in with an update on his helmet cam. He switched his Raspberry Pi for a Pi 2 and said that solved his audio link problems. and he's going to be posting up a video about his helmet cam. He has an Army helmet with a Raspberry Pi and a camera and sensors and like switches, and he wants people to basically make a GoPro for his helmet.
Yeah.
So that's cool. So he's going to post a video, and he's learning Python, and he said he's learning a lot. And we said that's a wonderful thing, and he says it's a little frustrating, and I said that's what it's like learning, but he's doing really good. So
okay,
awesome.
All participants
Thanks,
on the
Greg.
show and tell get as seen on the show and tell sticker. If you're on the show and tell, email support@adafruit.com, and we will send you out a sticker. Lady Ada, how do people get on the show and tell?
If you would like to get on the show and tell and show off your project every single week, starting next week, Wednesday 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time here in New York, that's where we're at. But you can show up from wherever you are. We have people from like all over the world appear every night. All you have to do is get yourself added to the show and tell circle. And to do that, get your Google Plus account. You'll need one. Go to plus.google.com/+Adafruit and look for the comment where the Adabot, little Adabot hands, and Adabot saying, comment here to get added to the show and tell circle. If you comment there and say I have a project to show, we will right click on your avatar, add you to the circle, and you will be invited every single week.
Sometimes it's full, so just keep trying. And also, if you remember, please be on Ethernet because Wi-Fi. It's HD video, and so it gets a little chunky. Okay, let's go into some open source hardware news. Adafruit's an open source hardware company. Since we haven't been doing the show besides guests, where we start news, a couple weeks behind with news, we hit our 800,000th order.
Okay.
Do-do-do, that's the sound it makes.
800,000?
Yeah, so we hit that big milestone. The person who got their order, they got it for free, and we also gave them a gift certificate. Thank you, everybody out there.
That's so cool. I like that there's somebody who actually got like 800,000. That was their order number.
Yeah, that was their actual order number.
Cool.
Do you know what order number we're up to right now? Do you have a guess?
850,000?
No, because this just happened really fast. 817,268.
Okay, so very recent. So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, this is just like
What
last
do
week.
I know?
Okay.
So 817.
817. Okay.
1,000.
Next up, we had a very special visitor that came to Adafruit that we're really excited about. So Helen, the former CEO of
And co-founder.
and
engineer.
and you're always co-founder of iRobot and engineer, most famous for the Roomba and also PackBots.
Designed the Roomba, worked on the PackBots.
Yeah, she visited. She was showing her new drone. We were a backer on Kickstarter. It did fantastic. The campaign's over. We bought two. I'm going to call it right now. So this is the most hackable drone that has the most things for people like us. And I believe right now, based on what I've seen, that this is going to probably be one of the winners in the space because she's shipped millions of robots to people's homes.
She knows how to manufacture robots and get them to homes. Like the Roomba is, and will be like the #1 home robot. And it's a tough thing. It's also like it has to navigate walls, not like knock grandma off the stairs, like not get lost under the bed. So she knows what it takes to manufacture and ship a product. So like normally I don't back Kickstarter because I'm like, oh, it's never going to ship. It's going to be a problem. But I think that this is really going to work out because she knows what she's getting into. She's like, oh yeah, like I know exactly how to do manufacturing. I know how to design something for customers. She's had like 10, 15 years of experience.
Yeah, and
in this exact space.
Helen was able to ring the NASDAQ bell. She took her company public, iRobot.
Yeah.
It was with a PackBot. So we also got her to sign a page in our coloring book because she's in the I is for iRobot.
Yeah.
And there's Helen. So that was really
her.
really big deal. And the reason I put it in the open source hardware section is she specifically has put in open interfaces and things for hackers, makers, artists, and engineers to tinker around with. Okay, next up, 3D printing news. This is sort of in the open source hardware world because we had a visitor. The new CEO of MakerBot, Jonathan, stopped by. And I want to explain this a little bit because it came in different. We usually have guests on our show, like on Ask an Engineer. So we got an email from their community manager that said, Jonathan, the new CEO, is hitting the road. He's doing a summer tour, and he wants to meet with customers, partners. We used to sell MakerBot, but we stopped.
We sold the Adafruit, Adafruit MakerBot Special Edition.
This was a really long time
ago. A couple years ago.
This was before they got acquired. This was this was before they got acquired.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that was a long time ago.
This is a very long time ago. So this is very early MakerBot when they first came out with the Rip 2. So they said he's hitting the road, and said we don't sell MakerBot stuff anymore, and they wanted to meet with us, and we said great, why don't you come on Ask an Engineer? And they weren't interested in it.
You would have been right here right now. You would have been sitting right here.
We said, well, we just had the CEO of Particle, and we had the CEO of Othermill. We had Zach and Danielle. We've had Chris Anderson, CEO of 3D robotics on Hardware Hangout. We said, can we do any type of video thing? Nope, we don't want any filming. This is listening and chatting. We said, okay, well,
when do a film?
Well, if it's listening and chatting, we'd like to ask our community what's important to them, and we also have some things that we're going to ask.
Yeah.
And that was when we first started this. And so we did a post about what we're going to ask. We wanted to ask about open source. Would MakerBot consider patching things up with the open source community?
It's possible.
Yeah.
They do it.
Yeah. We said, what's the deal with the Copyright Office and Stratasys mentioning MakerBot about not allowing people to use their own filament? There wouldn't be.
Yeah, there's a DRM filament thing.
Yeah, Michael Weinberg was on our show last week. Is trying to push for an exemption. So let's say, I'll give you a good example. So people who are vision impaired are allowed to strip the DRM off books, ebooks,
yeah.
so they can put it through a reader. So there's an exemption.
They have an exemption. It's totally legit.
If you're like a film professor and you want to rip DVDs to put together something, there's an exemption. You can do that. So what he's saying is there should be an exemption for 3D printing filament, so you can't be forced to use one type of printer cartridge from one type of printer manufacturer. And Stratasys, which is the big company that acquired MakerBot, has specifically said, we want to make sure that's not okay. So they sent like four people from Stratasys at this copyright hearing. And what was unusual is they mentioned MakerBot. MakerBot has nothing
a bunch of times.
Yeah,
and you can go see the transcript.
Yeah,
it's publicly available.
So we had that, and we also wanted to know if we were to ever reconsider selling MakerBots, can they do something different with the margins? They were selling stuff below the cost that we bought them. We didn't really enjoy that. And then we just general chatting. So, I'll be straight up. I don't think it was that fun because we're asking some very tough questions. But we met. They brought in a couple people. We talked to Jonathan. We talked to their community manager, and they also had their PR person. And what we did in the end, we said, okay, we're just going to summarize what was said, and we're going to publish this. And this was our best attempt. I mean, you asked really good questions. This was our best attempt to try to get the new MakerBot CEO to address some of these things. I don't know if they're ready for like an interview with these questions yet, but I think we got the closest possible.
Well, yeah, we got it as good as it's going to get because it's actually they have not been interested in any kind of dialogue at all. So the fact that they were willing to come out here shows that they are interested.
Yeah. So
and this is their first step in we can't set them on fire. We have to show them that this is going to work out if they want. You
suggested open source the controller board because who cares? It's not protectable anyways. That'd be a good faith gesture. We suggested make makerbot.com/open source. Be clear about what's open source now. They have an open source heritage. Talk about that the cupcake is still open source. You can
they should have the cupcake up there. It should be build your own. It won't be as good as the Rep 2, but that cupcake printer is an open source design. It still is.
So I'll start with the ideal. In an ideal world, because there's a new CEO, and the new CEO, he said, this is my deal, my company. It's not involved with Stratasys. We have our own P&L, profit and loss. So he said, great. Then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So
you run the company. You make decisions.
And so read the summary. He said that he would talk to Stratasys, or the PR person would. Maybe Stratasys shouldn't be talking about MakerBot if they're really not connected in regards to DRMing of filament or whatever.
Yeah.
So we did the best we could, folks. Big CEOs of companies that are publicly held, it's not ideal for them to talk to us. We're weirdos. So we did the best we could. If there's journalists out there that can score an interview and ask the same questions, great.
Oh, yeah.
We did the best we could. The open invite is always there. The CEO of MakerBot can come on, ask an engineer any Wednesday night.
We told him he can visit anytime he wants.
Yeah, and what we would like to see, and this is the ideal, we don't want to be open source jerks that no way, you're dead forever. What we would like to see is, here's the opportunity if you want to sell into the maker market, which is our customer base. Here's some of the things that you could do. Because we sell a ton of 3D printers, and they have varying degrees of openness, but they're very clear, I think, about what's open and what's not. Yeah. So we really like selling to printer bots.
Well, even the Ultimaker isn't really open source. I mean,
Yeah, well, and just to kind of make it even more challenging, so when you do open source hardware, people say, well, you use Windows, or the elevator has firmware that's closed to get into this floor. It's not really open source. So there's,
this is why you have to just be very clear about what is and what isn't. As long as you're clear, the firmware is open source, the hardware is, the mechanical design, or this isn't, then it's fine. Yeah. Or what license it's under.
So he tried. Okay, I think that this one commenter said it best though.
What?
This guy named Billy D on one of the 3D printing sites. He said, so to sum it up, the CEO of MakerBot's comment, he wants to win back to customers as long as they don't have to actually change any of their policy or practices. I think I think it's like that right now, but it's okay. At least we have a dialogue. At least we're starting. I think they just want to sell into the maker market, but not change anything that we addressed.
The thing about the open sourcing the motor drivers, I'm like, I told them there's no protection, so you might as well, or open source the previous revision.
Look,
Gen 5, like who cares? Like you're already on to the 6 or whatever.
I said, look, you got to rebuild a lot of trust and confidence with this market. Do some open source stuff. Be clear. Communicate clearly. Restate what the mission is. You can do it. It's there. It's there.
It's totally there.
It's there. But you know what? We're done. So it's up to you guys now, and anybody who wants to do an interview and do anything. We started it. I think we were lucky to even talk to someone. Normally, companies that are publicly held, they avoid people like us. So it's kind of nice. Anyways, mailbag.
Move right along.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to check my water. You can do mailbag?
Yeah, I'm going to do mailbag. Okay, Pack of the Mailbag stopped by and delivered some mail. This one is from Chris. Nothing more, just to say thank you for the product support and contributions to the open source, open hardware. Have a great day. Thanks, Chris. Next up, Help Wanted. This is our Adafruit jobs board, adafruit.com/jobs. It is the best place, I think, and Lady Ada thinks, to post a job if you're a maker company, or if you have skills and you want to look for a cool job, you post it up there. This week, job on the job board is a professor of accessories. Professor of Associate Professor of Accessories, Mobile and Wearables at the Parsons School of Design. Okay. So if it starts July 1st. If you're in New York, this is a big deal. You're boiling water over there, aren't you? Okay.
I have to for the demo. No, it's for this thing.
Okay.
We need the hot water.
I know. I was just making conversation.
Oh, sorry.
Since we're here.
Tea time.
Yeah. It's tea time. So anyways, if you want to work for Parsons, that's a cool job. It's on adafruit.com/jobs. Check it out. Okay. Arduino news, which also happens to be Raspberry Pi news, which is very weird. How is this possible?
What?
Yeah, so as many of you know, we are the U.S. manufacturer for Arduino, branded Arduinos in the USA.
Yes.
And we are showing how we're making them. So this week, we have a short little video on how we test Arduinos.
Oh, yeah.
Using a Raspberry Pi.
This is like 2 weeks old now.
So this is a 1 minute and 30-second video. Enjoy. Lady Ada, it is Friday. That means it's State of the Fruit at Adafruit, our all-company meeting. But then right afterwards,
back in the engineering.
You like to wrap up some big projects that you've been working on for the week. What is this one you're working on?
Well, one of the projects I was working on this week was getting a really solid Arduino Uno tester for the Arduino Unos that we're going to be manufacturing here at Adafruit. So this is one of the handmade ones, and this is a tester. This is the prototype tester. We'll be making more of these. Basically how it works is you plug in the USB, and you plug in this DC jack, and then you slot it down and put on one of these nice clamps.
And there's pogo pins, and we 3D printed the spacer.
Yeah, this is like laser etch, and then we have a Raspberry Pi with a Pi TFT hat. And then when you press the button, it'll actually run the program. So it uses the Tony DeCola code to program the Arduino and 16U2 chip over GPIO, so it's really, really fast. It can program both chips and do all the testing in about 14.8 seconds.
So each Arduino Uno made in the USA from Arduino.cc will be tested, and it takes about 15 seconds.
About 15 seconds.
That's great.
Which is my goal.
And you're using a Raspberry Pi to do this.
Yep.
And this is the tester that you created.
So it's got a whole bunch of stuff going on here, and then we're going to make a more solid version. This is just me like wiring everything, getting it all working. Now that it works, we're going to duplicate this and make like 3 or 4 more.
Okay. Good work. And that is how we test Arduinos very fast with the Raspberry Pi.
Yeah, we're going to be making thousands and thousands of these, and it's interesting. It's like whenever I try to talk to people doing hardware, I'm like, hey, get your test procedure down. Make sure your test procedure is really, really good, because if your test procedure is good and it's really fast, everything else is very easy. It's when your test procedure is slow or inconsistent or is really manual, like if you have to do a lot of things and look at stuff, that's what makes it very hard to actually get a lot of stuff made, because like oftentimes people don't realize that yield and like manufacturing tolerances, it's a problem in factories. So if you're manufacturing something, please make your test procedure ahead of time. Don't wait until you're about to go to manufacture. Get it done in the prototyping stage. Your manufacturer will love you.
Take that advice or not. Choose
Yeah, actually,
your peril. Okay, next up. Adafruit Learning System. We'll go through these really quick. We have more probably next week. But the Adafruit Learning System, we have over 800 plus tutorials. First one, this is Becky. She posted up a tutorial about using a drone to do graffiti. So all the successes and failures of a project like that is outlined clearly. Very cool project. Next up, we have, this is the Pro Trinket Power Meter.
Ooh, it's Fantoni Nicola. Yeah, he made a power meter for his own projects using a Pro Trinket, an OLED, and one of our current sensors. We have a USB power monitor thing, like the charger doctor, which is totally great. But if you want to do like up to 26 or negative 26 volts or whatever, this is great because it's a nice little OLED, and you can have a wide range of voltages and currents.
Okay.
So he's using it for testing his Adafruit I/O projects.
Next up.
Oh, this is a really old project. This is a Tony Nicola project. This is actually the project that we're using to program those Arduinos using the Raspberry Pi, which is actually why I asked him to do this project.
Yep.
So the AVR Dude software that used to program AVRs and Atmels, it can use GPIOs. It can use like raw pins, and so that actually makes it a lot faster because there's no USB device in the middle. And also, since the Raspberry Pi has tons of pins, it's very easy. So for the Arduino, there's 2 chips to program. So instead of having 2 programmers, which is always kind of a pain, I use 8 GPIO pins, and there's 4 for one, 4 for the other, and we twiddle them to program the chips. And so this is how you do that with a Raspberry Pi and GPIO. Very handy if you have to do batch programming, or again, if you want to do testing and programming at the same time. So.
Okay. Next up, this is the Mailbag notification service. This is
from Adam.
The project that Adam did. If you watched Show and Tell from a few weeks ago, you'll see Adam, who is one of the best demonstrators of projects I've ever seen on the Show and Tell. Amazing. And Adam is using our learning system to document this, and then this week he showed stuff, and he's using Adafruit.io. If you ever wanted your mailbox to tell you that something's up, this is the tutorial to check out.
These XBs and trinkets and solar charging.
Okay.
And then this is a tutorial he did as part of this. He's like, oh, in the mailbox tutorial, he made a custom circuit board. He's like, hey, I should probably explain how you make a circuit board. So, he basically shows the magazine ironing ferric chloride method. We didn't have a tutorial about this sort of stuff, so I was like, hey, yeah, sure, write it up. And he just shows you how to make a basic circuit board. It's kind of rough, but if you need a custom circuit board, it's a good way to do it.
Next up, this is the video that was recently, goes along with the tutorial that goes with the video. This is the EEG costume cap.
It's 3D
printed little Ninja Flex things, and then LEDs inside of it.
Yeah, they look cool.
Okay, so we'll get to some more learning system stuff later. That's it for this week. We have a new feature on our site. This is the Adafruit comic book reading list. Everyone here at Adafruit seems to be comic books, so we're asking everyone to contribute their favorite ones. This week, I'm just going to tell you which one it is. Check out the site. It is King City. Actually, it's the week before. It's King City, and excellent write-up from our team members. If you like comic books, and you like Adafruit, you might like these.
Cute cat.
Time travel. I'm going to travel back and then miss a week. So the time machine is off a little bit. So this is the time travel from a couple of weeks ago that I want to share. This is Elizabeth Garrett Anderson, English physician is born. She is an MD, was an English physician and feminist, the first English woman to qualify as a physician and surgeon in Britain, the co-founder of the first hospital staffed by women, the first dean. Sorry, the first dean. Well, it's very tiny text. Dean of a British medical school, the first female doctor of medicine in France, the first woman in Britain to be elected to a school board, and is mayor of Edinburgh, the first female mayor and magistrate in Britain.
Geez, you're a lot.
She was busy. So that's Elizabeth Garrett Anderson, 1836. Happy birthday. Okay, next up, wearables. Okay, so this week we have a couple things. The first one is I added this guide over here because we had a lot. This is the 3D printed glowing knuckles.
These are cool looking.
Yeah, so this is...
I don't know, who did this tutorial?
This is Matt Bergotti.
Oh, this is
really cool. So if you want to have glass... This is like Superman, Gangs of Kal-El.
Yeah, so he made these like plastic 3D printed knuckles, and there's a trinket inside and some NeoPixels. And you can charge it over USB. He's charging it, and then knuckles, but instead of brass knuckles, they're like crystal glows. And it just look really cool.
Super cool.
Super cool looking.
Okay, and then next up, we have a video. This is a Gemma bracelet. So roll the film.
Want a subtle reminder of time passing throughout your day? You can build a buzzing mindfulness bracelet using a vibrating motor and Arduino Gemma microcontroller. Begin by making a cardboard template for your chain links. Use scraps of leather or an old bike inner tube and cut out a whole bunch of this figure 8 shape. Create 2 special end pieces with elongated tabs and affix snap fasteners or Velcro tape. Start building up your chain by placing a new link through the previous one and then fold it flat. After a few, add in the gemma and poke a small hole for the resistor to fit through. Solder the resistor, transistor, and motor diode assembly in place among the loops of the bracelet, according to the circuit diagram and complete tutorial you'll find on the Adafruit Learning System. I'll leave the link in the description. Plug in Gemma over USB and load up the sample code. Adjust the time interval to your haptic preferences and finish adding enough links for the bracelet to fit your wrist. Use it to remind you to get up from your desk or feel how long you walk the dog. Since the code puts the microcontroller to sleep in between vibrations, the tiny battery lasts for ages. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more wearable electronics from Adafruit.
Okay, don't forget every Wednesday, Wearable Electronics with Becky Stern. We did that show earlier today. It was funny. I made her laugh so much she cried.
Really?
Yeah.
With what?
We were just being funny,
Okay.
being silly. So it was a very fun show.
Okay.
3D Thursday tomorrow is the show with Noah and Pedro, 3D Hangouts. But we have a special video this week. It is probably one of my favorite videos they've ever done.
Tail?
It's a cosplay tail. Here we go.
In this project, we're making a simple animatronic tail using an Adafruit trinket and a micro servo. It's easy to add movement to your cosplay with electronics and a 3D printed enclosure. The Arduino sketch here uses math to make the servo swing left and right, a lot like a pendulum. You can adjust the values in the sketch to customize it to fit your project. You can of course get the parts to build this project from the shop at adafruit.com. You can attach the tail to the micro servo horn using a simple zip tie. The battery pack can easily fit in your pocket, and the enclosure simply clips onto your belt with a 3D printed clip. So be sure to check out the guide on the Adafruit Learning System for a full tutorial. Thanks so much for watching, and subscribe for more 3D printed and electronic projects from Adafruit.
All right.
That's so cute. Yeah, we got that at Comic-Con. We went to the New York City Comic-Con. We got that pink tail that was like Adafruit pink, and we're like, yeah, we should really make a little servo thing. And then now we have it.
Raspberry Pi stuff. There's one guide I just wanted to share real quick. The guide this week, and I think our video that we're going to show next week, is the Raspberry Pi computer. It's a mini Raspberry Pi handheld notebook.
It was so cute. Yeah, I wanted basically like a libretto, which is this old, or the Zio, was it? The
Zion.
Zion. So it's a similar product, a little handheld computer, but the libretto would actually run like Windows or Linux. And I remember having one like 15 years ago, and so I was like, oh, it'd be really neat to be able to build one with the Raspberry Pi. So this is basically a teeny portable, uses like a wireless keyboard and the 3.5-inch Pi TFT, and it's got a battery inside of it, and it folds up as a hinge. And it's a fun 3D printing project. Not good for playing games, but good for like a portable Linux workstation. Very, very small.
So that's it for the news and more. We're going to blow through these new products. We have a lot. Before we do it, the code is NEWPS, N-E-W-P-S, all the way up till 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tonight. There's been boiling water over there.
I know. I got to boil water for this demo.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll work.
It's new product time.
Okay.
All right. So, Lady Ada, there's this stuff.
Okay.
We'll deliver a pile of plastic to people if they want it.
Yeah.
And,
so this is weird. So this is why I had to boil the water. So this is low temperature thermoplastic, and it looks like rice when you get it, but then if you put it in like really hot water, like you see in the bowl, and then you add hot water, it turns clear, and then it's hand moldable. So I'm going to try to do this demo. You want to try to go the overhead? We'll see if this works. So I'm going to put a bunch of beads in here, and yeah, this is how it comes, just like these beads of rice. Yeah, this is tough to go in there. Whew, it's hot. And then if you wait, let me give it a little bit of time. If you wait a few minutes, it starts clumping. Let's see if I can get it to come on. Maybe my water isn't hot enough. No, it's pretty hot. Oh, maybe it's even hotter. Hold on. Let me get some more boiling water.
More boiling water.
Sorry.
Well, luckily, no matter what, I've got these photos as you boil more water. So
Thank you.
Yeah, after you mold it.
Oh yeah, that was totally. Actually, added a little bit more water, and it's totally great now. Okay. Yeah.
So you can mold it and do different things. And we also have some other photos.
Okay. Can you go to the overhead again?
Yeah.
Sorry about that. All right. So now light demo. Okay. So now I don't know if you can tell, but they've turned clear. So when you get the water hot enough, the white rice particles turn clear and they clump together. And then what you can do is you kind of like mix it around a little bit and get it nice and warmed, get all the particles warmed up, and then it just becomes it molds into like there you go. It molds into just like plastic basically. And you can do whatever you want with it. You can like make it any shape and size you want. You can like turn it into a ball or whatever. And then it slowly turns more translucent white than clear. And you can always like put it back in the hot water to like reheat it.
Yeah.
But you can mold it however you want. And then when you're done, it's basically set in plastic. Like it becomes a hard plastic. So we'll check in a little bit later.
Yeah.
And we'll see.
And you have one example here, like you can make a knob.
Yeah, like that's a good demo. Like basically that's what it looks like when it's done. It turns into this white color, and it's firm. It feels like the same plastic that like milk jugs are made out of, like a stiff, a little bit pliable but not like flexible plastic. And you can like mess around with this for quite a few minutes as long as it stays above that temperature. It's like 60 degrees C or something. It's pliable, and then later on it hardens. But then you can always melt it again.
Would you microwave this or anything?
You have to have it in water, so you would have it in water and then microwave the water. I don't believe it, if you microwaved it, anything would happen.
Yeah, okay. All right, so we'll check in
Anyways.
on it later.
Okay.
All right, moving right along.
Yes.
We've got some more LEDs. And I have a video if you want, and you also have a live demo.
Yeah, can you show the video?
Yeah, I'm going to show the video because it's like 21 seconds long. So here it is.
Far away.
And they're glowing.
Thank you. I just want to get that extremely hot water out of the way. These are NeoPixel starter kits. So for people who want to get started with NeoPixels, but like you don't want to get all the individual parts, we have these packs that are pretty much ready to go, and you get a 1 meter of NeoPixel, you get the power supply, you get little plug adapter, you get the cable adapter, and you basically have everything you need. You just need like an Arduino or something similar. You don't even have to have solder. You can like jam some wires into the connector, and you're glowing using our NeoPixel library or any other WS2812 library. So it's a little handy pack, and you save a little bit of money.
Okay, next up. It's a sofa. We're now selling sofas.
It looks like a sofa, but it's actually a teeny breadboard.
Oh, okay. The scale next to the quarter really helps, because I thought we were getting involved in furniture.
It's like very modern furniture. Yeah, I can show you some on the overhead, or I can, or not. But
this
it's
is the new IKEA couch.
It's a very small breadboard, and some people find these handy for making little projects or kits. It's just a 4x4. There's 4 rows and 4 columns of holes, and like it's good for like if you have like a little kit and you just want to have like an LED or a little sensor. And you want to have a little bit of flexibility, but you don't need like a gigantic breadboard like this, which is just like huge. It's just a little mini breadboard, and it's like like $1 or something.
Okay.
He has little pegs. You can cut these pegs off, but if you want, you can use them. It might also be good on like perf board. Like you can solder this onto perf board to add a solderless breadboard area.
Okay, next up. Some type of connector.
This is an FPC extension cable. You can kind of see it. Basically, if you have a 50-pin flex connector that you want to make longer, like from our TFT displays, this will basically take every pin and just extend it like 20 centimeters. Very handy if you want, like one of our displays. Displays tend to use 40 or 50-pin cable connectors. We have a 40-pin extender, now we have 50-pin, so you can extend.
Extend and embrace.
Go forth and extend.
Okay, next up.
Handy accessory. XB connectors. Well, they're actually just 2mm 10-pin socket headers. You can plug something in, but they're tending to be used for XBs and XB-like things. This is an update. We now have them in packs of 2, same price, but you get 2 of them since you probably need 2 anyways. So go forth and connect your XBs to things.
Okay.
Ooh, now
We have some Spickenzie Labs glowy stuff.
Yeah. So one second, let me hook up this demo too. Okay,
You want to do it at the overhead?
Yeah, this one is a good overhead
We'll do it
one.
live.
Yeah. One second.
Joke never gets tired.
That joke never gets tired. Okay, so let me do this out. So this kit, you get a NeoPixel strip, and it's a kit. You have to put it together. Hold on. Let me extend this cable a little bit. Okay. And you also get this kit here, which you put together. It comes with a circuit board and some parts. And there's, you can even see there's 3 IR LED sensors. And if you don't have anything blocking the sensors, the LED strip kind of does nothing. But when you put your hand over them,
Ooh.
they glow and react. And depending on which hands you cover with, which sensors you cover with which hand,
This is neat.
you get a different effect. So it's basically a way to add interactive lights without having to do any programming. It's pretty much just ready to go as is. You can program it if you like, but it's just fun. It's neat. It comes with the LEDs. It's a good party trick. I don't know.
Okay, very cool. Good project. Get started with this stuff.
Yeah, you get the red, blue, and green. You can mix them together.
Okay, there's some photos.
Very beautiful.
Bink. And that's what it comes with.
Yeah, it's a kit. So you put it together, you learn how to solder.
Okay, so I'm going to set up the next one.
Okay.
So every single year for the last 5 years, I would email the Fluke distributor sales email address and say, hey, we're Adafruit, we're this little company in New York, and we would love to sell Fluke. Lady Ada loves
Like this?
Fluke. We really we think they're the best in the world.
Got the Fluke yellow.
Everyone thinks they're the best. And every year, nothing. So what I would do is each year I would hit reply on that email, and I'd say, well, the company's grown. Here's more about us. Here's more about Lady Ada and what she's been up to. And then
Yeah.
each year, every single year I've been
You
doing
send
it.
them like YouTube videos?
Yeah. So for 5 years we did that. So it was just 5 years of email. And finally, one of the newer people there saw our tweet or our email, and they said, hey, we're interested. So Fluke is kind of the best of the best.
This is it.
And
This is genuine too.
Yeah,
This is not like a gray market. This is
Yeah.
like the real deal.
So we're really happy because people say basically Fluke or else. Nothing except Fluke. That's they and some for the professionals, they have to use something like this.
Yeah, this is actually like Cat 3, Cat 4 certified.
Yeah.
Like for people who are doing actual electrician's work, like anything over 24 volts, you probably want something that's like
So-
certified and safe. So
We are pleased to
this is
announce
good up to 1,000 volts.
we now stock Fluke.
Yeah. 1,000 volts of Fluke.
And-
and it comes with accessories. It's got this current meter clamp, so you can like measure the current draw of like a house, electrical
Yeah.
house thing.
Now-
your fuse box.
It's not just
The
multimeters,
words.
but there's also, in addition to Fluke, there's other companies that are in the Fluke family.
Yeah, Pomona
Yeah.
and Amprobe. So this is actually my favorite multimeter. So not only do we have like the classic Fluke 87.5, which is like the true RMS multimeter. This is like the best multimeter. We also have this really great pocket multimeter, and this
Yeah.
is actually This is the multimeter I use on a day-to-day basis. I used to use like a 9-volt one, but actually I like this. It's small. It works really well. It's just like solid. Has auto off. It doesn't do current measurements, but it does do like pretty much everything else, like capacitance and resistance and voltage and AC, and you can change modes and the diode check and stuff. So I really love this meter. We also have another pocket multimeter that comes with the case, but this one is, I really like it. It's just a really good pocket multimeter.
Okay.
Very fast too, because you can get auto ranging, but you have to pay if you want fast auto ranging. So the Fluke and Emperor family are
Okay.
very fast.
We're gonna have
fast
to
as
put it
a-
a little bit in overdrive mode here.
What
Lady
I'm
Ada.
working. Look, this is a Fluke. What do you want me to?
Yeah.
You gotta give it its due.
There's some other things that we got.
Cables that go with these or other benchtop tools. These are from Pomona. They're really, really high quality cables and connectors, like really like the best. If you've ever tried to get good test probes, Pomona is usually the brand you go with. Pomona is a family brand with Fluke. So we now carry these very classically used stacking banana to mini grabber jacks, which are just like lovely cables. And we got them in red and black and 12, 24, and 36 inches. So
Okay.
we'll carry more. If you have a request, they have thousands of cables. So if you have a request for a cable that you want, just email us and we'll try to get it, because we can't even tell which cables
Okay, next
there
up,
are.
these are just different sizes of the same thing. So these are very good cable holders.
Cable hangers.
Yeah.
I use these. These are great, also from Pomona. They're made of bent steel, and they're plated or what's it called? Airbrushed or whatever. They're really high quality. And we have them in different sizes. We have like this thin one that's good for little. It can hold a lot of thin cables. And we have like the medium, which is this one.
Okay.
Can you click on that really fast? For thicker cables, like USB cables. And then we have the really big one, which is like for HDMI cables and VGA cables. So pick and choose which ones. They have the gauge measurements. But I have these at my desk. I use them for hanging my cables. It's a really great way to get those cables off your desk.
Okay. Next up, we've got a nice LED. And I have a video.
Yeah, I want to show the video while I get my demo set up.
Okay.
It's so glowy. Ooh, the glow. Okay, if you want to go to the... actually, don't go to the overhead. We can just go to the front because it's so bright. So this is the... hold on. Extend my power cable. This is the LED, which is just incredibly bright, so you can't even see it. This is, I think, the 3-watt LED. So we have RGB LEDs in 3-watt and up to 9-watt. The 9-watt one is actually a 3-watt LED that you can like over voltage if you want, or over current and over voltage if you want. You can get up to 9 watts, which is insane. 3 watts is already pretty insane. You do need to have a special driver for this, of course. You can't just drive it from an Arduino pin or something. I have some FETs here and some really big choke resistors. So that's one way to do it. You can also use a buck converter or a boost converter or whatever to create the high currents. But these draw 300 milliamps per LED. So 300 red, 300 green, 300 blue. And then the 9-watt is 700 milliamps per LED. So 2.1 amps total. So it's a lot. So this is when you need a very, very, very bright LED.
Okay. Next up.
It's really bright. It's a new Pimoroni case. This is a flotilla case. This is it's like the coupe. It's the flotilla coupe. So it's a slimline case. You can fit hats on top of it. It has these nice little markings on the side. We love these cases. We already carried this case in their like rainbow shade or whatever, but now they have it in this sort of sea foam teal color, and it looks lovely, and it goes with their Flotilla brand.
Okay. Next up. Cops are here to get us.
No, it's time for the Raspberry Pi case.
Yeah,
so the
it's a new
Raspberry Pi
case.
Foundation also has a case. I actually should show this on the overhead because it's a little unusual. It comes in multiple pieces that snap together, and yeah, so the top comes off, and like these pieces come off. Everything comes off if you like, but it's a nice little Pi case, and it comes with these pieces, and you can slot this on, and this snaps in, and then you can fit a hat in here. You can't fit like a full Pi TFT in here because there's this topper, but you can fit a hat inside, any kind of hat that you want, including our GPS hat or our motor hat or our servo hat, or even our TFT hat where you can see through. But only the hat version, because that's to be visible within the screen. And if you don't want that, you can also put this topper on for a full look. So it's kind of like a nice rounded top. It's a nice case. It's from the Pi Foundation, so it benefits them. It has the Pi logo on it. It comes apart into pieces. I know, we have a lot of options for cases, and now we have the official Pi case as well.
Okay. Speaking of Pi stuff. Big new product.
Ooh. This is the Pi TFT 3.2 inch. So we have a 2.2 inch hat, a 2.4 inch hat, the classic 2.8. Now we have the 3.2. The 3.2 inch one is 240 by 320. So it has the same resolution as the Pi TFT 2.8. It's just bigger. So all the pixels are just bigger. It isn't high resolution. There's bigger pixels, bigger screen. For some people, they might just want a bigger screen. So the nice thing about this is it's completely software, hardware, and otherwise compatible with the Pi TFT. It is plug-in compatible. The Pi doesn't know the difference between this and the Pi TFT 2.8 inch Classic, but it's just, the bigger screen has these mounting tabs on the side. You can use it in text mode like I am here, and I'm going to log in to get my password right. So it works great in text mode, but you can also use it in graphics mode. With like X11, or you can also use like a Pi game if you want to do graphics with like Raspberry Pi and Python. It has a touch screen, so you can poke at stuff and like I don't have internet here, but like I could launch apps and stuff. So you can do like gesture stuff and drawing stuff, and it just has a touchscreen attached. I don't know. It's a larger Pi TFT. I hope you like it.
Good work. Well, it's one of our more popular products, so
It is.
people will like it.
Yeah, it's still a resistive screen. We're trying to get a capacitive screen. We'll
Okay, second to last. We're running the corner here.
see. Okay.
It's like a sheet of neopixels.
This is, in fact, a sheet of NeoPixels.
I've got a video.
Okay, thank you.
Bendy,
That's a
bendy,
nice
bendy, bendy. I'm just gonna. That's it. That's it for the show, folks. We're just gonna bend
You're
it
just
out.
going to watch this forever?
Yeah.
This is very
Okay.
relaxing.
Okay, so.
So I can hold this up.
Okay.
So yeah, this is a flexible.
Ah.
What? It's not pointing at you.
No, it's pointing off. It's bouncing off the screen directly.
Sorry.
into
How
the-
about this?
No, it's fine. I'm just not gonna look at it. Just go
Okay.
ahead.
Geez. Sorry. This will ruin your life.
No, it's fine.
This is here. I'll point it at me. So this is a
Just
flex.
point it there. Just it caught me by surprise how bright it was.
It's
Yeah.
very bright, and it's not even high brightness. It's on a thick flexi sheet. We have an 8x32 matrix as well. This is a 16x16. So it's the same number of pixels, but it's just like in a square. It's fun because it's flexible. However, I will make a note for this. Even though it's flexible, these flex PCBs are not meant for repeated flexing. It's
Yeah.
like actually not what they're designed for. Like you can't just bend them and bend them and bend them. They will eventually crack, and the LED will pop off. The solder joint will crack off. So while it is flexible and you can bend it, you should bend it and then keep it in that one position. Like don't bend it a lot. Or if you do bend and flex it a lot, just be aware that you might have to repair it. Like it might crack and flex. So it's one of those things where this is for advanced users only. Like you can't just like twist it into like a ball and then like put it on your drone.
Let me translate.
Can you translate?
Yeah, don't buy these and bend them a bunch and say, "Oh, I want a refund," because that's not like we even say like, "Don't do that."
Yeah, we can't do that because
Yeah.
these are quite delicate. They're cool and beautiful, but
Yeah.
the trade-off is
Don't do that.
be careful with them.
Okay. All right.
We haven't had any problems so far.
We haven't because we've been very clear.
We're very clear with expectations.
Okay.
Okay.
Tonight, the star besides you is a new Metro Mini. Bum, bum, bum. We released this a couple weeks ago, but now we can finally talk about what in the world is the Metro Mini.
The Metro Mini is all the joy of a Metro, but smaller.
Like the big Metro. There's big Metro.
And
little
the Metro Mini.
Metro Mini.
So I wanted something that was a little Arduino compatible, that had all the pins broken out for me and had these mounting holes and a micro USB connection, had an FTDI chip on top of it, and had all the pins out. And the pins are on the same order as they are on like the Metro, and you can change the logic voltage from 5 volt to 3 volt. You're overclocking it, but whatever, it works fine. And thus was born the Metro Mini. So the Metro Mini is part of this family. So on the right, there's the Trinket, which is our lovely miniature AT-Tiny 85 based board. You can also use your Arduino ID, but it's like very limited. It's a very small chip, but it's very, very small and low power and low cost. And then to the left of that, like right below me, is the Pro Trinket. And the Pro Trinket is, you know, an Atmega 328, same chip that's used in the Arduino Uno, and it uses a USB bootloader. So you don't get a serial port, but you can upload code to it over USB, and it's really low cost because you don't have that extra serial chip. So that's like really nice. Also, it can do USB keyboard or mouse. Like it can act like a mouse or keyboard because it has a direct USB connection. The Metro Mini, on the other hand, is basically more just like the big Metro, as you see here, but just like it's literally just squished down and smaller. There's no DC jack, but there is a USB connector. There's LEDs on it. It has a reset button. It has an FTDI chip. It has the OptiBoot bootloader. So if you're using the Arduino IDE, you can upload it that way. You can open up with a serial console. And this is actually my go-to breadboard-friendly board now. So you can actually see on the overhead, I'll show it off. I'm using it to drive this gigantic, like, super bright thing. Oh, can you zoom in at all? Is that possible?
Yeah, I can try.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, because I zoomed in all the way here. Okay, so so here is my Metro Mini. So I'll unplug it. But we have a micro USB jack, and this is an FTDI chip. We have some LED indicators. So, for example, you know, LED lights up when you press the reset button. And then there's an Atmega 328 chip with a crystal, and then we have all the pins brought out, like 0 through 13 here, analog pins, VIN, ground, has a regulator, has like voltage input protection, It's just like an all-around like really useful thing for me, and so I designed it and I put it in the store, and people like them too. It's a very small, slim board. If you need a USB serial connection, this is a good choice. If you don't, check out the Pro Trinket instead.
Okay. Later, you did it.
I did them all.
You did it all. That was new products, everyone. Whew.
And we can celebrate with some rainbows.
Yeah.
Hi.
Yeah.
Is this too bright?
Yeah. Okay.
Sorry.
So we're gonna we got lots of new products. We're gonna
Okay.
not be able to get to a ton of questions. I'm just gonna do
Oh wait, I want to show up this plastic thing.
Oh, okay, this plastic.
Yeah, so this plastic is hardened. So yeah, now it's done. So I molded this earlier,
Okay.
and now it's molded. So if I drop this back into that really hot water, it will dissolve again. Not dissolve, but become clear again, and then I can remold it if I want, so I can recycle this. But otherwise, it's pretty rigid plastic. So
Okay.
that was the first demo. So I'm just bringing it back to
All right. I'm gonna hit some of those questions.
the. Yeah, sure. We'll do some questions.
Yeah, I'll do speed round.
Speed
so
round.
I'm just gonna hit some of the ones that people have posted.
Yeah.
Okay. Here you go.
Bright LEDs. We has them.
Yeah. So, can you upload waypoints to the Ultimate GPS? Is that possible?
The Ultimate GPS does not have waypoint capability. It has some basic logging capability, but it doesn't have a way to notify you. So you'd have to add an Arduino or Raspberry Pi or something, a microcontroller or like a Teensy that would read the GPS location, and you would program it with your waypoints.
Okay. Great. Next up, someone suggested maybe we put the bend radius on the thing, but
I don't have it. The thing is, I don't have a technical bend radius, so I don't want
Yeah.
to promise anything.
No, I
It is
agree.
bendable, but I don't.
yeah,
I don't know.
It can be bent, but we don't. If we say that, then it'll be like, no, I did that.
Well, it's like I
500
bent it.
times.
Yeah, it's like even though there's a bend radius, it's like in the demo we show it being bent
Yeah.
as much as we feel comfortable with bending it. But it's up to you. It could probably be bent more, but you run more risk.
Okay.
So,
What was the Raspberry Pi shield on top of that case? I think they were referring to this one right here.
oh, that's our perma-proto. So it's a prototyping hat.
Okay.
It's for making your own hat designs.
All right. Do you have, or could you make a library for the SSD 1306 OLED that will work with a Trinket ATtiny?
It's tough because that OLED actually buffers, our library buffers the display in RAM because the display, you have to write the whole display if you want to be able to individual set pixels. I know somebody has done like a text-only version that's only like text, like you only do text, but you can't do graphics or something like that. But I don't remember the name of it. But yeah, it's tough because the ATtiny85 does not have much RAM, and you need 512 bytes of RAM to buffer that display, so it just doesn't quite fit.
Question on the Metro Mini: are the two interrupt pins 2 and 3 usable like the regular Arduino, or are they reserved for USB serial converter or something else like they are on the Trinket?
They're totally available. The Trinket uses one of them for that USB connection, but on the Metro Mini, all those pins are free.
Okay, someone want to know if the Huzzah still popular? Yes.
Yes, we made a lot. I saw a gigantic bin made today.
Yeah, there's thousands of people who want these.
Yeah, we're gonna make it so people can get more and have resellers soon. We're still getting through the waiting list. We want to make sure, not waiting list, but the sign up list. We want to make sure everyone gets.
Can the Raspberry
shot.
Pi Arduino read a data stream with Adafruit I/O? Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Next up, can you use the Bluefruit UART friend to program the Arduino via Bluetooth like the other one in the store that specifies it?
No, and it's actually harder than you think because Bluetooth Low Energy doesn't have a serial protocol built in. So, like you could, but you'd have to customize, write the whole thing. Whereas Bluetooth Classic has the ability to do serial. It's a default profile with Classic Bluetooth, but they didn't add it to Bluetooth Low Energy. So it's not something it's designed to do.
Okay.
So you could shoehorn it in, but it would not be
Next
very
up,
good.
what's the microcontroller on the Rainbow Light? Is it ATtiny?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know. It's either a PIC or an ATtiny. Let me check. It is a 12F1840, so it's a PIC.
Okay. Next up, will Adafruit ever stock SolidWorks?
The software?
Yeah. I don't know, maybe.
Maybe. I haven't thought about it.
We stock EagleCAD.
We do stock EagleCAD. Oh, check it out.
I mean, not stock. I mean, it's a digital.
Yeah.
It's a digital download.
By stock, I mean there's a page. Yeah, we haven't thought about that.
So, can you redesign the Metro to fit within a 4x20 pin arrangement to make all the breadboard pins available?
Well, I made it as skinny as possible. So there's 3 pins available on the right, and then 2 pins. 2 pins and 3 pins available. It's hard to get it much skinnier because you have to have the pins, and then you also have to have the micro USB connector, and it's a certain width. However, this does fit into a socket, a 0.6-inch wide socket, which I've done. So you can use like a 28-pin socket, which we have in the store, and Metro Mini just plugs right into it.
Okay. So those are the questions we're doing. A good job. Speed rounded that.
Yay.
I wanted to show one is not out yet. Don't ask.
Okay.
Actually, two of them.
Wow.
Yeah, this is the Bluefruit 328.
32U4.
32U4. Sorry.
I know. So many chips.
That's coming soon. Don't ask, but there's a preview. You did it in prototype red. So coming soon.
We're not changing our PCBs to red. It's just a prototype.
Bluefruit 32U4. This is cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. I gotta finish that.
Next up, you went for a bike ride, and on this bike ride, you were testing out Adafruit.io. Here's a quick little video. What are you doing here?
Hey, it's a beautiful Sunday in New York, so I'm going to go for a bike ride, but never want to stop engineering. I'm also testing out the new Phone 808 Shield, cellular plus GPS capability, and it's streaming my location to Adafruit.io, so I'm going to try testing out all this stuff and see if it can keep track of where I am.
Internet of Lady Ada things.
Keep safe.
And this logged to Adafruit.io, and here's a couple screenshots. Very cool.
Yeah, that's the GPRS, which
Yep.
is not nearly as precise as the GPS, which is the previous one, which
We
is
went
like
Weehawken. Okay.
super precise.
So
Yeah, I
that's-
did not constantly go back and
Yeah.
forth between New Jersey and New York.
So that's a little bit of preview. Don't forget the code is NOOPS all the way up to 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Everything you
tonight.
saw, 10% off.
Yeah, if it's
Even
in the store.
flukes.
And now we're going to give something away. It's trivia question time.
Ooh, are we gonna give away a Metro? What are we gonna give away?
Yeah, Metro Mini.
Metro Mini.
Lady Ada, what are the rules?
If you've won something before on this show, you can't win again. Only one winner per my lifetime on this show. If you won on Becky's show, you can still win on this show, but still only one winner per this show ever. So if you've won something from this show already, please don't type the answer because it'll mess everything up. The first person to type in the answer correctly into either the YouTube or Ustream chat, which
Was born in 1889. She was a mechanical engineer and inventor, the first woman member elected to the Institution of Mechanical Engineers in 1924, a strong supporter of women engineering. She was one of the founding members of Women Engineering Society in 1919. Who is she?
what was her birthday?
1889.
What day though?
Like,
Whatever. Sometime.
it's in our time travel
June.
section.
Sorry. I thought I saw it.
So if you were to go to adafruit.com/blog and go to time travel,
Oh,
you'd,
you might learn
you'd
something.
see the post, and you could,
So English mechanical engineer,
yeah,
born in 1889.
89. First woman member to be elected to the Institution of Mechanical Engineers.
Institution of Mechanical Engineers. Okay, to the Wikipedias.
It's not Liz Garrett Anderson. That was the week before, because I was going to be ready. Okay, Rob Mann, congratulations.
Verna Holmes.
Brandon Holmes. Rob Mann, you won. Congrats.
Yeah, we tricked you.
Yeah, I know.
Ooh, tricky. Although now you know also about the first English female physician and surgeon.
Yeah.
So look at all you've learned.
Email support@adafruit.com and tell them that you won a Metro Mini, and they will send it out to you. Okay, that's tonight's show. Good work.
All right, next week more new products,
It was physically
but different ones. I know you're
challenging. I'm
like. I think
about to die.
we're like winded.
Okay.
Let's go get some drinks.
We'll
and
see
food.
everybody next week. Thank you so much. Don't forget the code is NOOPS.
Oops.
And we'll see everybody next week. We're still catching up on more new products and more show
We have
news.
tutorials and videos.
Tons of stuff.
I know, but we had such great visitors.
Yep, it was great.
And we love guests.
Yep.
So.
And thank you so much, everyone out there, for your continuing support. You are what makes Adafruit go. Here's a picture of a cat. And here is your moment of Zener. We'll see you guys next week.
Later.